The word pastor derives from the Latin noun pastor, which means shepherd. The term pastor also relates to the role of elder within the New Testament, but is not synonymous with the biblical understanding of minister. Many Protestant churches call their ministers pastors, which is also used as a job title. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, Jamaica has more churches per square mile than any other country on earth, except the Vatican City itself. That's an estimated 2.75 churches for every square mile of Jamaica. As such, the opportunity exists for persons to seek employment as head of these institutions or to create their own place of worship. Many persons believe that accreditation must come from God alone. Notwithstanding this, a number of institutions, such as the Jamaica Theology Seminary, have sought to prepare persons for this career. Have you heard your calling? We explore pastors in this episode of Career Moves.
I'm Reverend Dennis Walton, pastor of the McDonald Lane New Testament Church of God. First of all, a pastor is someone who is called, anointed, and commissioned by God to lead a flock. But I do not only view a pastor as someone who leads a flock in terms of pastoring a church. I view a pastor as someone who is a minister or servant of the Most High God. My call to ministry is a very unique one. It started when I was just 4 or even 3 years old, where I got a vision from God. In fact, I say God now because I'm more mature. But back then, at a very, very early, tender age, I had a vision where a bright light came out of the sky. There was this Bible in the hand of this figure, and he said to me, "Go preach my word." I didn't take it for anything, but as I started to grow older, by the age of 9, I got saved. And at the age of 10, I started preaching this gospel message. There has been no turning back ever since. By the time I was 13, I knew where I was going. And at 16, after finishing high school, I knew that my mission was to enter the ministry. I started preaching, interestingly, on the roadside. And I must say, until this very day, that is somewhere that I have a love to go to. But my first appointment began at the Cocoon and the Friendship New Testament Church of God, 2 small communities in Hanover. I must say, my life was completely transformed by the wonderful experience I had there. Over the years, I have pastored elsewhere, like in the parish of St. Mary, Port Mariel, and the Galena New Testament Church. And I have been at the McDonald Lane New Testament Church for over 12 years. My mission as a minister is not only to minister to my current congregation, but the wider community. It therefore involves ministering to the flock over which I see. It involves preaching, it involves visiting, it involves counseling. I am a full-time pastor. My day begins at 4 every day, and it ends some minutes to 12 every day. You get up, devotional exercises. After your devotional activities, then it is time to get going. Most times, I'm at my office by 8:30. And I'll be at my office within the community or other areas of the community from then until 12. And I must say, if I'm at my office, from the moment I drive in, persons are coming to see me until I leave. However, do I enjoy walking through the community, interacting, sitting down with the guys, finding out what's going on. But I must say, it can be hectic, but very fulfilling.
When you tell somebody theology degree, they immediately think, oh, just Bible. But nothing could be further from the truth. There is no other degree that is going to prepare you better for life than a theology degree.
Pastor thing is not a career. You see, a pastor is supposed to call by God, and career is something will make you have a rich, big house.
Yes. Why? Yeah, because pastor give you a good advice. Yeah, encourage you the good, in the way you call it, the righteous way, and not the wrong.
The college pastor, I don't work with them. It's a college pastor to me, is money thing. You're working for money. But when I get the gift from the Almighty, I deliver the gospel to people. Yeah, that much spiritual and real.
For most of the little young ones, them just come up because, you know, say be a drugs and gun and them something them a deal with. So being a pastor now, learning about the Lord, it's a good thing, good thing.
To be a pastor is not a career. I think a pastor should have a real career. And then preaching would be like a part of his devotion to God.
Well, sound like a booming business to me, I don't know. Pastor, Benz, all the high-end vehicle them have it, so I don't know. I'll try it, seriously.
Yeah, when we're ready to rob some people, thief some money. Yeah, notice when you start preach first, you see collection.
My name is Barry Hall. I am the head of the theological department here at Jamaica Theological Seminary, and I'm also a pastor, the senior pastor at Ecclesia Bible Fellowship. Jamaica Theological Seminary began 55 years ago out of the vision of a missionary whose name was Zenas Gehrig, who came to Jamaica to work with the missionary church in an effort to train men and women to serve in ministry. With the mantra of service and expanding that to the country, we have now included a number of other course offerings. JTS is an interdenominational school. We don't prepare people for denominations, we prepare people to serve. And so we have a much wider scope in our approach than denominational schools. We're not training people to be equipped adequately in the study of their own doctrine, but in the wider area of theology that covers the biblical mantra. We teach Bible, we cover different books of the Bible, we teach church history, we teach leadership in different core areas, We teach introduction to psychology. We teach counseling. We teach the languages of the Bible, Greek and Hebrew, because that gives us a better understanding as to what was written. The theology program is designed to prepare not only in ministry, but as a general background. It is probably the best course that is available in preparing young people for service, to work, for any area of life. It includes Bible as well as leadership and also counseling areas, counseling psychology areas. The degree we offer is in leadership and ministry, but we also have a number of other areas, course offerings with minors. The Bible exhorts us to be prepared for study. And those who dare to enter the arena of service within ministry in the church quickly find out that they can't be prepared without formal study. There are a number of persons who have done so, but it's like comparing somebody who understudied a doctor and somebody who went for formal training at a university to be prepared for medicine. You should ask yourself the question, who do I think is better prepared to serve me? You have to be prepared to teach theology. We have moved from that nonsense where people believe it's the Bible, so you just open your mouth and things happen. No, the Bible itself exhorts that in order for you to teach, to preach, then you must prepare yourself. Paul told his portrayee that you must study diligently so that you can rightly divide the word of truth. A theology degree is to enhance your understanding of God. You know, it is what the Bible teaches us about God. How does God operate? Which will then gives us a better understanding as to how we should relate to each other, how we should relate to Him, how we should relate to the world on a whole. So a theology degree is not just preparing us, as I said, for service in the church, but it opens you up, your understanding and your knowledge as to a number of other facets. So no, it is not restricted to just people who are Christians, but people who want to understand better what Christians believe and why. So some of the requirements are a minimum of 5 GCE or CXC general proficiency with a combination of passes of A, B, or C, and or 1 or 2 or 3. English language is compulsory. Candidates with accredited degrees, associate degrees, or certificates may be eligible for advanced standing. So that means that they would do less of the credit hours required for them. People with A levels also would get an advanced standing, just like in the university. They would go forward and have less credit hours. The credit hours can run anywhere between 116 to 130, depending on the minor that you're carrying. Full-time, it's 4 years. Part-time, it's 5 years, which would include summers. If you have an advanced standing with any of the associates or otherwise, it would mean that you could do it in 2 years or in 18 months. It all depends on what your qualifications are coming in. Full-time students come to school during the morning time and at nights. Part-time degrees are available to students in the evening hours. It's designed for those who work. So it's anywhere after 5:30 our evening classes begin, or some of them might run later depending on how many hours the course is for that day, and that is until about 8:30 each day. Credit hours are extremely competitive as it is right now. It's just over $8,000 per credit hour. The thing about theology is that a lot of people do not regard the worth of the degree. When you tell somebody theology degree, they immediately think, oh, just Bible. But nothing could be further from the truth. There is no other degree that is going to prepare you better for life than a theology degree. My formal years of studying have been in theology. And even whilst I lived abroad studying, all the jobs that I had that were worth having was as a result of my theological training. One, it gives you the ability to reason better. The apologetic training within the theological degree helps people to reason, to read and understand better, to analyze. Their analytical skills are strengthening the studying the degree. In terms of commitment and integrity, all of these areas that build character are dealt with in theology. So when a person studies the Bible, studies theology, they are better prepared, and you would get a better work person than those who have just done the degree in the area that they are studying for. The truth is, the Bible mandates that pastors be paid. The Bible says that he must be paid for the service that he does. Do not muzzle the ox as he treads. The compensation rate for pastors vary, beginning with nothing, what most churches offer, to some who are not badly paid, but those are few and far between. The truth is, the Bible mandates that pastors be paid. The Bible says that he must be paid for the service that he does. Do not muzzle the ox as he treads. And the Bible also encourages us that we should honor those that serve amongst us.
In terms of payment, one should never enter ministry because of a salary or because of the financial rewards. From my own experience, if it were that, I would be so disappointed. For sure, the principle that we follow and we embrace is a biblical one which is deeply entrenched in the Old Testament writings. The priests, the ones who serve God in the temple, they had to live. And so people would have brought their gifts to God, and a portion of that gift would use to take care of the priest. It may be small, it may not be like other fields, but for sure, just to see the lives that are transformed, it is worth it. I thought that ministers were persons who only preach on a Sunday, and for the rest of the week, they sit back, pray occasionally, read the word occasionally, but they have a very easy, carefree life. I tell you the truth, from my experience and the experiences of others, I have learned that it is not so. The life of a minister is one that begins on a Sunday and it goes back until the next Sunday. Another misconception that many persons may have about a minister is that a minister sits back and simply collects. The truth is that many times as a minister, it is more so what we are able to give physically, socially, and financially. Within the community we pastor, and I pastor in particularly, the needs are many. And so always, there is someone who will be coming who is in need of financial assistance. So instead of just receiving, I found out that a minister has to give. And thank God that misconception was cleared up, because there are many of us like myself who would not be able to make it this long. As a pastor, the possibility exists to become a guidance counselor, a counselor. Particularly in my case, I have used my theological degree to further my study, but more so in the secular field, having been to the Michael University College. So there are a number of opportunities, but it offers more opportunities within the counseling area. Depending on how one looks at it, in any field you are in, I think that the aim should be to contribute, to do your best, to offer your services. And I really believe if one is willing to comply, to work hard, then for sure the security is there. I must say, however, though, that it can become very, very challenging.
People must have the satisfaction of fulfilling their own call of servitude, of ministry. All of these things is what brings satisfaction. It's more than finance. It's more than the benefits. It's a joy of serving others. It's a joy of understanding that you're fulfilling God's call. It's a joy of satisfying your own desire.
It's a wonderful thing to be a pastor, and I think surely if there's a young person who's out there, maybe you are a senior, maybe you are someone who has been through a challenging moment in life, I believe, who knows, what you have been through, just maybe God is using it to make you into a greater messenger. If you feel the calling of God in your life, I think you should answer. And I really believe more persons need to step up to the plate and answer the call of God, become a pastor and a ministering servant of God.